Hey everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Henry, your host, and with me today is my amazing co-host, Sarah. Hey Sarah.
Hey, Henry, and hello to all our wonderful listeners. We're so excited to have you here today.
Absolutely. If you're new here, this podcast is all about helping you improve your English in a fun and practical way. And today we have a really exciting topic. Think smart, speak fluent.
Yes! If you've ever felt nervous or stuck when speaking English, don't worry. You're not alone. Today, we're going to share simple but powerful techniques to help you think in English and speak more fluently.
That's right. We'll break down the biggest mindset shifts, smart strategies, and fun techniques that will help you express yourself confidently in English.
And here's a little challenge for you. Stay with us till the end because we have a quick fluency exercise that you can try right away.
So, grab a cup of coffee, relax, and let's dive into today's episode. Think smart, speak fluent. All right, now that we've set the stage, let's dive right into today's topic. Why thinking smart helps you speak English fluently. Sarah, let's start with the big question. What does thinking smart actually mean when it comes to language learning?
Great question, Henry. Thinking smart means training your brain to process English naturally. Many learners focus too much on memorizing grammar rules or translating in their heads, which slows them down. But when you think in English, you respond faster, feel more confident, and speak more fluently.
That's such a great point. A lot of learners struggle because they translate from their native language to English while speaking. But that takes too much time and can make sentences sound unnatural. Have you ever noticed that, Sarah?
Oh, absolutely. And the tricky part is that different languages have different sentence structures. So if you translate word for word, it can lead to mistakes or awkward phrasing.
Exactly. So, one of the smartest things you can do is to stop translating and start thinking directly in English. And we'll share some techniques to help with that in just a bit.
Right. But before we get to strategies, let's talk about mindset. Because fluency isn't just about knowing words, it's about confidence and clarity. Many learners think they need to speak perfectly, and that fear actually holds them back.
Yes, one of the biggest mistakes learners make is waiting until they feel ready or until their English is perfect before speaking. But guess what? That moment never comes.
Exactly. Fluency is not about perfection, it's about communication. Think of it this way. When a child learns their first language, they don't wait until they know all the grammar rules. They just speak.
That's a great analogy, Sarah. Kids don't stress about mistakes, and that's why they learn so fast. So if you want to speak fluently, you need to think like a confident communicator, not a perfectionist.
That's such a powerful mindset shift. And here's another important point. When you focus on smart thinking, you train your brain to respond faster in conversations. Have you ever noticed how native speakers don't hesitate before answering?
Yes, that's because they're not translating or second-guessing every word. They're processing ideas and speaking naturally. And the good news is, you can train your brain to do the same.
Exactly. And in the next part, we'll show you how to think smart and speak fluently with practical strategies. Are you ready, Henry?
I sure am. Let's get into some powerful techniques that will transform the way you think and speak English. All right, now that we understand why thinking smart is so important for fluency, let's get into the real game changer, how to think smart. Sarah, what's the first strategy that can help our listeners?
The first strategy is thinking in English instead of translating. This is huge because when you translate, your brain takes extra time, and you might create awkward sentences. Instead, you should train yourself to process thoughts directly in English.
That's a great tip, but some learners might be wondering, how do I start thinking in English? Do you have a simple way to practice this?
Yes, a simple way is to describe what you see around you in English. For example, if you're walking outside, instead of thinking El cielo es azul in Spanish and then translating it, just say to yourself, the sky is blue. Do this for everyday things.
That's brilliant. And another fun exercise is talking to yourself in English. It sounds silly, but it really works. Just narrate what you're doing. Like, now I am making coffee. It smells amazing.
Exactly. The more you train your brain to think in English, the more natural it becomes.
All right, strategy number 2. Focus on ideas, not just grammar. Sarah, why is this important?
Because when we focus too much on grammar, we slow down. Instead of worrying about every little rule, focus on communicating your message. Most of the time, native speakers won't care if you make a small mistake, as long as they understand you.
That's so true. I've met English learners who know all the grammar rules but still struggle to speak. And on the other hand, I've met people who speak with confidence, even if they make small mistakes. Guess who communicates better?
The confident speaker, of course.
Exactly. So instead of thinking, is this past perfect or simple past? Just express your idea naturally.
Now, here's a really smart trick visualization. Instead of memorizing long word lists, connect words with images in your mind. For example, if you want to remember the word beach, don't just repeat it. Imagine yourself on a beach, hearing the waves, feeling the sun.
I love that. It makes words easier to remember because you're connecting them with real experiences.
Yes, and if you forget a word, describe it using other words. For example, if you forget the word refrigerator, you can say, that cold box where we keep food. That way, you keep the conversation flowing.
Another great strategy is speaking with a purpose. A lot of learners just practice random phrases, but if you focus on real-life situations, you'll improve faster.
That's right. If you're traveling, practice ordering food in English. If you work in an office, practice introducing yourself professionally. When learning feels practical, it sticks.
Exactly. And if you don't have someone to practice with, record yourself speaking. It helps you track your progress.
And finally, start simple and then expand your sentences. Many learners think they need to use big words to sound fluent, but fluency is about clarity.
That's so true. Instead of saying, in my opinion, the fundamental aspect of fluency entails a comprehensive grasp of linguistic structures. Just say, I think fluency means understanding language well. Simple is better.
Yes, and once you're comfortable, you can add more details. For example, start with, I like coffee. Then expand. I like coffee because it gives me energy. Keep building step by step.
That's so true. Instead of saying, in my opinion, the fundamental aspect of fluency entails a comprehensive grasp of linguistic structures. Just say, I think fluency means understanding language well. Simple is better.
These strategies will help you think smart, and when you think smart, you speak fluent.
Absolutely. Now in the next part, we'll share some fluency boosting techniques that will make your English sound even more natural. Are you ready, Sarah?
Let's do it.
All right, now that we've covered how to think smart, let's talk about some powerful techniques that will help you speak fluently and naturally, Sarah. What's the first technique?
The first technique is one of my favorites. Shadowing. It's simple but super effective. You listen to a native speaker and repeat what they say immediately, like an echo.
That's a fantastic exercise. It helps with pronunciation, rhythm, and confidence. Sarah, do you have an example of how someone can practice shadowing?
Yes. Find a short clip of a native speaker, maybe a YouTube video, a podcast, or even a movie scene. Play a sentence, pause, and repeat it exactly how they say it. Try to match their tone and speed.
And if you want a challenge, try speaking at the same time as the native speaker without pausing. It really trains your brain to process English quickly.
Next, we have chunking, which means learning phrases instead of single words. This helps you sound more natural and fluent.
Right. Instead of memorizing words like go and out, learn the whole phrase, go out for dinner. It makes speaking easier and faster.
Exactly. When you learn full phrases like, that sounds great, or I'm looking forward to it, you don't have to think about grammar, just say it naturally.
That's a great tip. And you can write down useful phrases and practice them daily. Now, here's a fun one. Storytelling instead of just answering questions with short responses. Try telling a short story. It helps you practice fluency and connect your thoughts better.
I love that. For example, if someone asks, "How was your weekend?" instead of saying, "Good," try saying, "Oh, it was great. I went to a cafe with my friend, and we tried a new dessert."
Yes, this pushes you to think in full sentences and add details, which makes your speaking more natural.
Here's another great fluency exercise, the 5-second rule. If someone asks you a question, try to answer within 5 seconds. No long pauses, no overthinking.
That's a great one. It forces your brain to think quickly in English. So let's try it now. Sarah, what's your favorite food?
Oh, pasta with garlic and cheese.
Nice. And where would you love to travel?
Japan. I want to see the cherry blossoms.
See? Quick and natural. No time for overthinking. Just speak, listeners. Try this with a friend or even by yourself. Now, our final technique, record yourself speaking. It's a great way to track your progress.
Yes, when you record yourself, you can listen back and notice what you need to improve. Maybe pronunciation, pauses, or filler words like and
And don't be too critical. It's just practice. Over time, you'll see improvement and feel more confident. So, quick recap. Shadowing, chunking, storytelling, the 5-second rule, and recording yourself. These techniques will help you speak more fluently and naturally.
That's right, and the key is practice, practice, practice. Try these techniques daily, even for just a few minutes.
Now, in the next section, we'll talk about common mistakes learners make and how to avoid them. Are you all right? Now that we've covered fluency boosting techniques, let's talk about something really important. Common mistakes learners make when speaking English. Sarah, what's one big mistake you've noticed?
One of the biggest mistakes is being afraid to make mistakes. Many learners hesitate to speak because they're scared of saying something wrong. But guess what? Even native speakers make mistakes.
Exactly. Fluency isn't about perfection, it's about communication. If you focus too much on being perfect, you'll hesitate and lose confidence.
So the best way to avoid this mistake, just speak. If you make a mistake, don't stop. Keep going. People will still understand you.
Another big mistake is translating from your native language. This slows you down and makes your sentences sound unnatural.
Yes. Different languages have different word orders, so direct translation doesn't always work. For example, in Spanish, you say en tango 30 años, which directly translates to I have 30 years. But in English, we say I am 30 years old.
Exactly. So instead of translating, train your brain to think in English by using the strategies we mentioned earlier, like shadowing and chunking.
Here's an interesting one. Some learners try to speak too fast to sound fluent, while others speak too slowly because they're thinking too much. Both can be problems.
That's true. Speaking too fast can make your words unclear, and speaking too slowly can make conversations feel unnatural.
So, the best way to avoid this mistake, find a natural rhythm. Listen to native speakers and match their speed. If you're unsure, try recording yourself and adjusting your pace.
Another mistake is sticking to the same basic words all the time. If you always say good or nice, you might sound repetitive.
Yes, instead of just saying good, try words like amazing, fantastic, or incredible. It makes your English sound richer and more natural.
A simple way to avoid this mistake is to learn synonyms for common words. Write them down and try using a new word every day.
And finally, many learners forget that intonation and body language are part of fluent speaking. If your voice is flat, you might sound uninterested, even if your words are correct.
That's so true. Imagine saying, I'm really excited in a monotone voice. It won't sound convincing.
Right. To avoid this mistake, listen to native speakers. Notice how their voice goes up and down, and practice copying their tone and expressions.
So let's do a quick recap. Don't fear mistakes, stop translating, find a natural speaking speed, use a variety of words, and pay attention to your voice and body language.
That's right. Avoiding these mistakes will help you sound more natural and confident in English.
And in the final part, we'll give you some practical tips to keep improving your fluency every day. Wow, we covered so much in this episode. How to think smart, fluency boosting techniques, and common mistakes to avoid. Sarah, what's one key takeaway you'd like our listeners to remember?
The most important thing is this: fluency comes from practice, confidence, and smart thinking. The more you expose yourself to English and train your brain to think in English, the faster you'll improve.
Absolutely, and remember, it's okay to make mistakes. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to communicate.
Exactly. So, to all our listeners, here's your challenge. Pick one of the fluency techniques we talked about today and start practicing right now. Maybe try shadowing, storytelling, or the 5-second rule.
And don't forget, fluency is a journey, not a destination. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and most importantly, enjoy the process.
If you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful, make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if you want more fluency tips, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, leave us a comment or review. We love hearing from you.
That's right. Tell us, what's your biggest fluency challenge? We'd love to cover it in a future episode.
All right, that's it for today. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and remember, think smart, speak fluent. See you in the next episode.